Hello, I'm Dr. Randall Bell, and with me is Suzanne Wilcox, a great friend who knows a lot more about me than important topics like healing and chakras. But we're here to talk about archetypes. Did I say that right?
Archetypes.
Archetypes. I don't even know how to say it. That's why we have you here. You came into a staff meeting. I'm not promoting a product or anything, but we played this game in our staff meeting, and the people on our staff still talk about it. They just love it. Mm-hmm. And it's a new topic, but archetypes are all kinds of roles we play basically, and we choose to play these roles. Can you kind of tell us about some of these things?
Yes. So the thing that I love about archetypes is that when we recognize what archetypes are, we have access to all kinds of things. Archetypes were introduced by Carl Jung, and he was a psychologist.
Okay.
And Myss has made this book deck of cards, and I like it and I play with them. But basically, archetypes are roles that we can play in life, and not just we can play, but when you look at the whole concept of our human experience, we're constantly playing different roles. So one day I'm a teacher, the next day I'm a student. One day I'm a healer, the next day I'm the patient or the wounded one. We're always changing our roles. And when we understand those roles and we understand that they're constantly changing, then it frees us to do more things and be aware of all of our options.
Okay, so we have this exhibit that we've worked on. And this has a whole bunch of different archetypes. Did I say it right that time?
You said it right.
Oh man, I can learn, even me. Mm-hmm. And so what do we do when we kind of go down this list? What is it we're trying to accomplish or figure out here?
I'm going to go back to the handout. The handout talks about that we have certain roles that we can never avoid. It's the experience of being human. And then we have other roles that we can choose to embrace or not embrace. So the ones that we have to be the child, we have to be the victim, we have to be the prostitute, and we have to be the saboteur. At some point in our lives, we're going to experience those four things.
Okay.
At least once, probably repeatedly.
That sounds interesting. Let's hit them one at a time. Let's start with the child.
So the child archetype is the young one who comes into the world and is learning and is not yet fully mature. Okay. And there are different kinds of children. There's the orphan, there's the magical child. There are different kinds of children, but we're all a child. That's how we come into the world.
It's kind of like me. I'm just learning this I'm really new to this, so I'm kind of a child when it comes to archetypes.
There you go. You're embracing that right now.
Okay, now you got my curiosity here with prostitute. How does that work?
At some point in our lives, no matter how much we try not to compromise ourselves, at some point we're going to compromise ourselves in order to get a need met or in order to get something that we want or need. We're going to compromise who we are and what we represent. In order to survive, that's what we do.
So we kind of sell out, or we kind of give in to something. Is that kind of on par with what?
Yeah, it's like anytime we do something that we would never ever want to do that's against our own ethics. But if I felt like I had to do it for my own survival, then I'm in prostitution of the archetype.
So someone kind of, coerces you into doing something you don't feel comfortable about. That's kind of the prostitute role, not necessarily a literal prostitute.
Right. Let's say that I'm at work and I really need this job and I'm trying to do everything perfectly and my boss asks me to lie and I lie because I want to keep this job and I want to make my boss really happy. And maybe let's say that lying is something that I'm against. Okay. I just compromised who I am and what I really value because I was worried about my job.
Okay. So you're doing something a little sketchy that really isn't you and you're doing it just for survival, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's always about that.
Okay, and then the saboteur, that's a word I don't even know what it means.
So all of us are guilty of self-sabotage. Okay. This is when, I really, really want this new project and I'm really working hard on it and then I do everything to make it happen and at the last minute I sleep through my alarm clock and the whole thing's ruined. It's like that kind of stupid stuff that we do. There's some kind of an inner framework that's sabotaging everything that we want. Because why? Because that's just an archetype and we can't help it.
Okay. And then the fourth one is victim. Explain that one.
So the victim is when we say, I have no power, it's not my fault, it's everybody else's fault, I'm going to blame someone for this situation because I'm just powerless and I have no power and I'm helpless and I can't do anything about it. Okay.
I get that. So I think we've all done those things, if we're honest, at one point in our lives. I get it. Mm-hmm. So let's play a little game. I'm going to shut my eyes, and I'm just going to randomly point right there. Oh, Communicator. Give us a example of communicator.
So a communicator is an archetype where I might put on the communicator hat and I might decide I have something to communicate. I'm going to talk to my friend Dr. Bell and I'm going to participate in a video and I'm going to explain something that is important to me because I feel like I can communicate that and I want to be a communicator.
So it's communication skills, whether it's one-on-one or in front of a group or in writing or the PowerPoint presentation, it's one of those modes of getting the word out.
Anytime I'm explaining something that I feel like needs to be communicated, I'm wearing that hat. I think of archetypes as hats.
Okay. So you kind of, that's why you have a little hat here. Because this one, they're in the king role, basically. Okay, you want to do one more?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to go right here. Liberator.
Liberator. So the liberator is going to set the people free. The liberator is going to get us out of the situation into a better situation. It's about social activism. It's about things being fair and just, and it's about freedom. Okay.
So one thing you said when you first introduced the team, here in this boardroom and during a staff meeting to this whole topic was, you can choose these roles. These are roles we say, that's what I'm going to do. These aren't things that are necessarily thrust on you. They're more like, you know what, right now I'm going to be a victim, or right now I'm going to be the king, or right now I'm going to be a companion. You choose these roles. Do I remember that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's true. And it was really empowering for me when I learned about archetypes and when I realized that I was choosing to be the victim.
Okay.
And I said to myself, I don't really like being the victim. It's not working out so well for me. I think I want to do something different. And I made a conscious choice and I set the intention, I'm going to do something different. And I set the goal that I would become the queen.
Okay.
And there's a big difference between being the queen and being the victim, or being a servant and being a queen. I also identified as the martyr and the servant and the victim. Those are all three very similar. And when I realized I was doing those three, martyr, victim, servant, I said, I'm going to do something different. And I reached for the crown and said, I want to be a queen. I want to be in my power. I want to take responsibility. I want to do something different. It was a beautiful thing for me.
Okay. So if you kind of find yourself in the victim role, you can say, I've had enough of that role and I can pick another role and I'm going to put that hat on and start doing more of that role. Do I have that right?
And there's a lot of power in intention. So when you set the intention to do something different, then you can do something different. The intention is very powerful.
So one last question for you, Suzanne. This has been a really interesting conversation, but sometimes I need to hear things more than once to get it. And I remember you also mentioned something about light and shadow. What's that all about?
So all of the archetypes have two aspects. There are opposites. Everything in life has an opposite. It's just what makes us whole. So if I'm going to be in my archetype, which one it is, there's going to be a light and a shadow. And the light is going to have certain characteristics and the shadow is going to have certain characteristics. And they're going to be very different, but they're going to be in the same archetype. Our greatest strengths are our weaknesses. So like if I'm in the queen, I feel like earlier I expressed that was a beautiful thing for me because I could be in my power and I wasn't a victim anymore. That was my light. If I take the queen and I get into the shadow side of the queen, then if I take it too far, I could be domineering, I could be mean-spirited, I could be abusing my power, and that would be the shadow part of the queen.
Oh, okay. So there's kind of a bright side. Like the prostitute, that brings up some pretty negative images. But you think of the woman who steals a loaf of bread to feed her child is maybe a positive spin on that role. Do I get that?
Yes, and there are archetypes that you think, how could there be a positive spin? It's like saboteur. How could that help me? To me, a saboteur has a lot of shadow. Like, oh, I just ruined my whole life because I had all these dreams and then I slept through my alarm clock. But then there is a light to the saboteur. Why? Because it's giving me some awareness. It's giving me a lesson. It's giving me an opportunity to evaluate what's just happening in my life and what just happened and why. So even the ones that seem like they would be obviously all shadow, even they have a light side.
Okay. I love it. Great conversation. Great insights. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Suzanne. And thanks for watching. Make sure that you share this with your friends and family. Core IQ is all about the skills we all need, but we are not necessarily taught in school. So do the episodes, do the worksheets, and build your core IQ. See ya.